God, bro, what? 810 it is. Delete all this. All right. Oh, yeah, we got 40 people in here. We good. All right. Good Sunday to everybody. I hope everybody having a good weekend. Today we're just gonna go over regular basic charts, everything the regular. Find support and resistance, different kind of patterns. If we see stuff, we're gonna point it out to help us, give us the advantage for next week. And that's really basically about it. And everybody else will have you have more than one person able to give their chart suggestions. JJ, Avery, and I don't know if Jordan doing something, but Jordan too as well. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna start off with is SPY. I do not look. Just gonna find regular support. 3 touches. Anything that touches a line 3 times is a support or resistance. So basically you can see right here, there's 1 touch. It's about 2 touches, 3 touches, and then the wick right here is about 4. And then it comes back over here and touches again. 1, 2, 3. Is that on it? 4 more times. So you can call that an area, a strong area of support or resistance. Boom, boom, boom. Find this. Why the hell I keep doing this? And then that's 1. Got 1 touch. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. 4 with the candle wick of that one. And 5. Boom, boom. And as you can see, SPY is in a little rising wedge right now. So we have to be a little careful. Why is it drawn like this? I hate this computer. So it's in a little rising wedge. Usually everything that goes into a rising wedge has a drop, and then in a falling wedge usually will go up in momentum. But it's just about when. You never know when this will happen. That's really, I can find different levels for tomorrow. Let's see something that we can watch spot for tomorrow so we can get a play off the open. Where is
being silly, stop saying dumb stuff. You're gonna remember that just like you remember everything else. Your name, how old you are.
So if SPY was to break, so it closed at 44.52. If SPY was to break 450.58, I would look for calls. If SPY was to come back down to 437, I would look for puts for going into tomorrow. And tomorrow is 0 DTE, so contracts will be a little bit more cheaper. Avery, JJ, y'all want to start with y'all second chart?
Yeah, let me see if I can just share my screen. You just have to get rid of your screen first, though. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
No, we see you.
Okay.
Well, I see the whole. I see everybody really. It's just not you.
There you go. Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I get rid of this? Okay. So a lot of the stocks that I've actually been looking at, we can start off with SPY. Let's start off with SPY because this is the way how I want to be able to go ahead and see it. So the way how I play it is I always do 15-minute breakouts. Zay's right now we're actually like as like a rising wedge. So that rising wedge has been starting since March 16th. Tomorrow we're going into the 20th. To be honest, it's exactly what Zay was saying. Like you never really know when this rising wedge is really going to break down, because I personally had thought that that rising wedge would have broken down like on the 17th, and then it broke down a little bit and then continued up until the 18th, and then it really continued up until Friday, which is the 18th. It's really more so just kind of really understanding exactly what the trade patterns are throughout the entire week. That's why I like to do short-term, like 15-minute breakouts, because at least I can kind of figure out what I can see throughout the next day. We don't know exactly whether or not this is going to go ahead and kind of break above, or if it's going to go ahead and break below. I don't really have much predictions as to it, but if it does break above, I can probably see it probably getting towards where you'd see multiple touches would probably be around like maybe 450. After it gets to 450, I'll figure out whether or not it can actually really break above. If it can't, I'm probably seeing probably around like maybe 439-ish. But right now, the thing is that the reason why the market had been so bullish for like the past couple, like just for the past couple of days, is because it's breaking out of daily and weekly trends. So if you were to go ahead and look at the SPY weekly trend, you'll see that it like larger time frames, like those tend to be the strongest. So because it broke out of a weekly time frame, that's why you saw it kind of moving like a good like $40 within the past couple of days. Just to see if I can just clear kind of everything, because I think it's easier if you guys can kind of see it from like a longer term view to see where it really is. The reason why the market has been really bearish for the past couple of like months is just because like we have like a lot of factors coming in with like when it comes to fundamentals. So we have like inflation, there's war talks, you know, everything's just so expensive when it comes to like commodities are also raising as well too, right? So when I say that, you know, larger timeframes, this is a weekly chart, you know, this is the COVID drop from 2020. And I always saw that there would be a rising wedge that would eventually kind of break down. And I was kind of expecting that. Like even from like, you kind of really saw it kind of happen, even like from like November, December. That's when I kind of felt like something was kind of off for the next couple months. And on top of that too, historically around the beginning of the year isn't really that great when it comes to the market, because like, I guess like people have been selling, people have been purchasing a lot throughout the holidays. And really just, I think people are really just trying to get their finances in order when it comes to just like buying their stocks and everything, right? So that rising wedge, I saw it happening from a long time ago, and you can kind of really evaluate where it was coming from, and it happened right at the beginning of January. Did I think it was going to happen in January and at this large increments? No, right? But nobody really sees, you know, like anything really happening. I don't really like to predict the future. I just like to kind of see like, well, I like to predict where I can kind of like be able to go see what's happening, because nothing is really truly for sure, right? um that was a rising wedge. A rising wedge is very bearish, and then it was creating a down channel, right? And a down channel is bullish, so once it kind of breaks out of it, it's either a down channel or like a descending wedge, right? Once it kind of breaks out of it, then it kind of breaks out pretty big. And that's why you saw it at the low of like what, 415 all the way now to like 444, right? We never used to do these type of numbers. Having a $1 jump day was usually a really good day for your stocks. But right now, like a lot of like the implied volume on like the options, like I don't know if I'm getting a little bit too, if anybody really understands, but it's really just like we have a lot of volume inside of the stocks right now. So that's why you'll see that like, maybe you'd see like Microsoft, it's moving like, $2 a day, or like, or maybe, sorry, you'll see Microsoft moving like $10 a day. Typically when it comes to your options, like during these type of days, you'll see like if it moves like $10 a day, you'd see 1,000%, because you wouldn't like on your contracts, just because you wouldn't really expect it to kind of really move that much. But because the implied volume is already like has already been priced in, that's why you're still getting high, like, high contract premium prices, but it's a little bit more priced in. So you'll still see like maybe like instead of it being 1,000, it's probably like maybe like 500%, 400% on those contracts. But as we move on into like the daily, you'll see that daily trend with SPY a lot easier this way. And I think personally for myself, I didn't really expect it to happen. I knew it was going to happen violently, right? But it's just like, because like the ranges in SPY have been so much, it kind of messes with my mind a little bit. So this is where we saw like that bottom on the 14th. I don't remember what the day the 14th was. 15th, and then we kind of saw it jump. We have 3 green soldiers. So it's like, it's kind of like saying a yes for the next day. And now we are at resistance for it. When you do fib levels for it, you like to go ahead and do it with like the multiple areas of like resistance and like support. This is definitely an area of resistance and support that we've also have had. So we'll see whether or not it kind of wants to break through, see if we can go to like 452. If not, probably like maybe consolidate through like 438 through this area. It's possible we can just kind of like not break down violently again. Like it's also possible that we can probably like continue to kind of bull flag through this area to see if we eventually kind of move on or consolidate, because we have been moving up a lot for the past like 4 days. But at the end of the day, like we've also been moving down a lot for the past 3 months too, right? And it is possible to have more than 4 days of green days. We've definitely seen it. It's not always likely, but it happens. For some of the stuff I've been watching, I have a list here. I haven't actually been looking inside the comments, so I don't know if I don't really know how to use Zoom that great. So if you guys are asking questions, I'm hoping that like Jordan or JJ or Zay are actually responding inside there, because I don't know where to even get onto it. But let me see my notes. I was looking at uranium stocks. Let me just double check.
Yeah, someone asked, would that be considered a 3-touch?
Sorry, what?
In the chat, somebody asked, would that be considered a 3-touch, the chart you were just on? Is there maybe
A 3-touch?
Triple top, maybe? Or 3 touches on the trend line, as they were saying earlier.
Yeah, from the bottom, yeah. So yeah, so you'll see it like down on the downward wedge. You'll definitely see that it's been touching like 3 times, right? And it's just like kind of rejecting to go below that trend line. So I was looking at uranium, other commodities that have like been moving. Again, like I said, like I like to look at like larger patterns just to kind of notice whether or not it like we can see it moving. It's been on a downtrend since last November, and then kind of broke out of it from January once the market was down. And it's possible that it can kind of like continue to break out here up until like January. This is more of like a long-term leap idea that I was thinking of, just to see if it actually continues to kind of really move on. Monthly doesn't look that bad as well too. Has a little bit of a cup and handle as well here too. On the monthly, I think it would break above 27, probably see 36, but that's just something I'm on the watch. Other things that I'm looking at is like small caps. So let me just turn this off. So with IWM, that is the Russell 1000, Russell 2000, just to have like a bunch of like the small cap lists on there. So one that I was specifically looking at for next week was Roblox. Right now, it was also in a downward channel as well too. Trying to see if it kind of really broke out a little bit. Exactly like SPY, it's just really at like resistance right now to kind of see whether or not we can kind of break above to go to 211. That has been a very, very long area of support on IWM. So if it does kind of move, you'll see like a bunch of like the smaller cap stocks kind of like moving up with it, like AMC, Roblox, SoFi, just a lot of those other stocks as well too. I like Roblox just because like you can, once you can get like the premiums really cheap, they can really kind of move very, very heavily, right? So Roblox has been a favorite just because like all of like the metaverse. Personally, I'm a fan of Roblox just because like I feel like it's a genius idea to kind of like have like a subscription model based off of for children. Just because children aren't really thinking about their finances, they care about just paying for games and shit. Especially like with how much money is really spent on like PS4 games, PS5 games, Xbox. Like the gaming industry is very, very, very much like stable, and people are still very much paying for it. But I definitely see that just because like with like Roblox, it has a really good daily trend from it, and it's just been beaten down from $140 down to like $50 now. So, and that was coming all the way from 2021 of November. IPO like I think in 2020 or 2021, early 2021. So we'll see where it goes. I think above 50, which would be like more of like a psychological support or resistance over here. But it's also very much like the resistance to kind of break above that trend line. And you can definitely see it a lot more clearly on the weekly. So if it kind of breaks that weekly trend line to go right above it, that's when I would definitely be a little bit even more bullish about it. Sorry, my laptop sounds like it's like the fan is going crazy. But yeah, it also has a daily gap here between, where did I draw it? From 51 over to 66. I'm not saying it's going to fill it right away. Gaps can take a while or can do it really quickly. I would like Roblox to do it pretty quickly, but it's also a 20% move, right? So I think I'm a little bit more cautious on it if it can kind of break above 52 before it can kind of be able to get like even close to the gap first. But we'll see where it goes. Again, I love to do 15-minute breakouts, so it's a little bit easier for me to understand exactly where like it's gonna go. So like, for example, like from this day, sorry, somebody trying to talk? Maybe somebody's mic is just kind of getting in.
Go ahead.
So with this, you can see like it was already bear flagging, continue to break the bear flag and just kind of broke down. You see descending wedge, kind of broke out onto the next day. Another descending wedge broke out. Here you can definitely see that it's bull flagging. Like over here, you can see that's a bull flag, broke out heavily. Rising wedge here. Huge rising wedge here. You'll probably see a little bit better on like a smaller time frame. That was a rising wedge that we're probably seeing on SPY, and it broke down heavily. And then it just continued to bull flag and bull flag. Rising wedge broke down. And then now it's like, this is where we are today, where it has possibly like an ascending wedge, or it could be like parabolic footsteps where it kind of just kind of moves, settles in, and then kind of breaks up. But hopefully that's where I kind of see it breaking above for Roblox. Another stock that I was looking at was, we can go into Facebook. This has been on the move for, it just got so cheap. So cheap. Not saying it can't get cheaper, but like it just like considering that where it was, like right before that earnings drop is insane. All the way from almost $400 down to 180, right? So again, like larger timeframes are pretty strong with this as well too. But this is a lot of tech right now, like Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, like they just all been all the move, and those are like the market movers for the most part, right? So it broke out of like a weekly trend, and like it just kind of like really moved. You can see it a lot clearer on the daily. People will probably think, oh, once it's starting to move, it's probably going to go ahead and fill the gap right away. It's going to take a lot more for it to kind of fill the gap, but we'll see where it goes. It's possible that I can still do a lot more consolidation as well too. But yeah, like a lot of tech right now has like a rising wedge. For all you know, even it could probably like break down in the morning, and then after the morning is done, by the time it's noon, it probably just pops up again. So we don't really know. So we'll try to see exactly what happens. The market has been extremely like volatile for the past couple months now. So you just kind of really have to really expect the unexpected. That's why swings have been have been a little bit more dangerous on the riskier side, just because like you're not able to kind of have like a lot of consistency with it, especially if stop losses happen a lot quicker. We just double check to see. Even for also as well, like when it comes to April, April tends to be like one of the more like more positive months when it comes to like the market. So we'll see. We can still be like, when it comes to SPY, like long term, we can definitely still be bearish for the rest of the year and still have a green month. You know, we can still continue to go down on this downtrend. I'm not saying it will. I don't know what is going to happen. That's why I don't want to go ahead and predict what is going to happen. But at the end of the day, like it based out on a monthly trend, right? And it has a very, very green hammer. It's happened before. This is exactly like, this is the COVID drop. It dropped, and then like it had like a green hammer, kind of just moved up right after that for a while. So we can see what happens, right? We haven't really seen too many multiple like downtrend months on SPY before. Doesn't really usually last long. 2 months, 1 month, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months when the world was going to hell. 2 months here. Even like with the recession. Yeah, this is the 2018 recession. That one was like, started from 2017, it just like continued to have like a really big downtrend, which is kind of like what a lot of people are actually predicting for it to happen here, right? Because even with like, it started in 2017, right? And then by like, you know, January 2018, it just went down for a while. Like imagine being on a downtrend from like November up until what, March of 2018, having consistent red months. And then you have like April, which was a good month, May, a good month, and then June, red months, and then kind of green months. And then it continues to go back on that downtrend as well too, right? But at the end of the day, like since 2008, like look at how long we've continued on to go on to this like this uptrend, right? That's why like when it comes to like, you know, these type of dips, like it should be opportunities for everyone to kind of really go ahead and get long-term stocks. I've honestly been meaning to put out my list for a very, very long time for like long-term stock holds, for anybody that is a little bit too afraid to kind of like continue to trade right now, because trading is very risky right now. But at the end of the day, you can make really good and safe decisions. Like JJ and Zay, like they're really good at, you know, scalping and getting like at least 20% on their trades as well too, to go ahead and, you know, kind of collect like quick profits and then call it a day. Those tend to be the winners right now inside this market, just because like they're not being too greedy and they're kind of just taking exactly what they see. So, and just to not hold too long can also kind of like really really like better your chances in trying to continue to have that profits. But yeah, like even like when we had the recession in 2008, like it didn't matter for the, you know, the next upcoming like 10 years and more after that, right? So dips are definitely gifts when it comes to, you know, buying any types of long-term stock holds. I'm not saying to buy like, you know, like random penny stocks or anything like that. Even small caps, like some small caps can kind of like go to shits right now. They're also saying that even with like, you know, with EV, there's a lot of EV companies that might, you know, they're not going to go ahead and be a Tesla or possibly a Lucid, or, you know, kind of be like Toyota or Honda with their new EV cars coming out as well too. like XL Fleet was supposed to be like, I think, a fleet truck in order to kind of like, they said that XL Fleet would have like a government contract to go ahead and deliver, to have like electric like trucks out for people to go ahead and deliver their fleet trucks. And now that stock is like $2. It was like 30 when it IPO'd, and now it's like $2, you know? So it really depends. Like, I think Solo was another one as well too, that kind of just like really, really died out. You know, there's so many of these like car companies that like might not happen. This one is Canadian, actually. I think it's Canadian. I think Solo's Canadian. I can't really remember, but even Tesla, like Tesla's gone up significantly high, had like a triple top, and then it kind of like really based out, like coming back from $1,200 down to like $600 at one point, and kind of based out on it. But we'll see if it kind of continues a downtrend or if it, you know, kind of moves up, right? It still needs to engulf like a previous monthly candle in order for it to like be considered as bullish. So it would kind of have to get to like that 950, 1000 area before it can really consider it to really be bullish. Right now, it's just kind of chilling right here. So we'll see if it continues to go up, or we'll see if it goes down. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Everybody knows I'm bearish on cryptocurrency. I don't like it. Like there's a lot of reasons why I don't like it. I don't like the fact that like banks, you can't really connect to your banks as comfortably as you can. I'm Canadian, so I really like, when it comes to any of my banks, it's very much a difficult like process for me to kind of like transfer money from my bank into like any type of crypto accounts. I have to use like other like third-party apps like ShakePay or something else to kind of like really like transfer them in. I don't like the idea that it doesn't kind of give you it, like what you're buying from cryptocurrency is really just like you're paying for the volatility. Like when it comes to like, you know, stocks, you're paying for shares of a company. You know, when it comes to crypto, what are you buying? Like, I really don't understand what you're buying. You're just really kind of buying the volatility in it. And you can make a lot of money from the volatility. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't make money off of cryptocurrency, but as a long term, I don't know. For all you know, like it's kind of like trying to break a downtrend a little bit, but this could probably end up being like a giant head and shoulders, you know? And then it comes right back down to zero. So we'll see what happens. Like, I'm not like, I don't like, again, like I said, like I don't like to predict the future on things because like I could be dead ass wrong when it comes to it, right? But we'll see what happens to it. Like, again, you can make a lot of money off the volatility off of it. So it's not something that you like, you know, when people say like, oh, like Apple is a part of Bitcoin, and you know, Tesla, they make money through Dogecoin and everything like that. Like, they're putting money into it because you can make money off of it. Nobody's not gonna not make money off of something that you can easily profit off of, right? These large corporations are in the business of trying to sell to retailers, you know, into what they like. And right now we like crypto, right? So regardless of like how I feel about it long term, I like to trade not Bitcoin, but I like to trade crypto stocks like Mara, Riot, MSTR, Coin. But right now it is like on a little bit of a uptrend with it. I'm just trying to see where it kind of goes. What it really needs right now is like, it needs to break above like 45K. Like right over here. It needs to break above there before I can say that it's gonna continue like an uptrend. If it doesn't, then like we'll see it where it goes. But like, I just need to see it kind of break above 45K before I'm like kind of really bullish on it. But it was breaking out of like a downward wedge as well too. So, and now it's just like kind of consolidating with it. So like that's where I kind of got a little bit like faked out with it as well too, because I saw that there was kind of like two candles that were like kind of bullish on the weekly. And I thought maybe this could be like the, the jump, but it really wasn't at all whatsoever. And now here we are. It could also continue to be an expanding wedge, and like it can kind of just break down again, right? But again, like honestly, like crypto tends to move with the market. People used to say that it's just like a hedge against inflation. Whenever Bitcoin moved up, the market was moving down. But like for the most part, it's been very consistent with the market. So I do not think it's like more of like a hedge against inflation or anything like that. Hedges against inflation are really commodities like oil. Like if you look at crude oil futures, like oil and gold. If you look at oil futures, let me just take it all off. Right, like since like the time that like the market has been like moving down, like the gas prices have been moving considerably up, right? Had an all-time high of like up to like 131. So I don't think it's all-time high, but had a like went right back up to like 131. Now it's 105, which is kind of scary because I feel like gas prices are going to get a little bit more expensive again. And I'm a little bit more terrified with that. But we'll see if it kind of breaks above, right? I don't know if futures right now, like what futures right now look like right now. It's a little red. So it could be like going through with that rising wedge. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning for pre-market. We got up to like what, 445, 46? 444? I don't know. It was, yeah, 444, 45-ish. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. Futures also lie too. This is not. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. But yeah, that's what it is right now. And that's why oil's up a little bit too. I think gold is moving down a little bit. Now it looks like it's kind of trying to base around too as well. So we'll see what it looks like on Monday in the morning. If gold wants to go ahead and continue to break out as well too. But yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I've been talking. I don't really know what is kind of going on inside the message portion of it.
I got a question.
What's your question, Xavier?
Was Bitcoin like, what did it look like today? I didn't even check it. Like I haven't checked nothing really.
It was up more so yesterday, I think, but it kind of broke down here at 42K, right? So I don't know. We'll see. It hasn't really broken down heavily yet. Who knows? It could break above 42 tomorrow morning, or it can continue to go down to the gutter, which is where I see all cryptocurrency going. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I wanted to be green tomorrow. Just stay green for like the first 30, 45 minutes and we good.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like if you have a green market, this can also continue to, but Like even like if you look at like a lot of crypto stocks right now, they look really, really good. Right. Daily trend. I want to see if it kind of like really breaks above 28. If it can break above 28, we can probably see 30. It was bull flagging heavily yesterday. I mean, on Friday. So from the 16th, it was bull flagging. So yeah, bear flag, bull flag, just kept breaking above. So we'll see if it like continues. I think this is from the 16th. This is the 18th. Yeah. Yeah, like it looks like from on Friday, it looks like it was both flagging. It was getting ready to kind of like break above. So we'll see where it kind of goes. I think Riot also looked like that as well too. Yeah, Riot like just like kind of based over here as well too for that day, and it just kind of both like. What else? There's something else I was looking at as well too that looked really, really good. But yeah. Any other questions? Someone's gonna have to look at the thing for me.
A request for Draftkings, but do y'all want to do requests at the end or?
Yeah, I was just about to say we can do those at the end when we finish our charts and stuff that we
Do
looking
our
at.
watch list, and then yeah, what y'all say?
I'm gonna say JJ or Jordan, one of y'all.
I think JJ only got 2, 3
Yeah, I
charts.
only got 2 charts.
Yeah.
I can
Okay,
share
let me
screen.
stop sharing my screen then.
But y'all can drop chart requests continuously throughout if it's something y'all are already looking at. We'll just hit them at the end.
Well, somebody want to see DKNG and Nike? Wait, who's about to share their screen?
Me.
Okay.
If I could get it going, because it won't allow me. What the fuck? I can't get it working. Jordan, you could go till I figure this out. Since you're gonna help me before it started.
Now look, I was just sitting
Mhm.
across the dinner table from you. We could have handled that day.
Go.
Let's get it. Is this the right one? This is not the right screen. Y'all looking at FinViz? What screen are we looking at? What'd you see?
We see FinViz.
Yeah, that's not the right screen. There we go.
Like you can tell it was trying to put there. Go.
Yeah. All right. I got too many tabs for somebody else. All right. So I got about 8. I'm gonna run through mine real quick. I was just flipping through some stuff, saw Smile Direct Club. Like it had that resistance level around $3 mark. So if I can get a break above 3, watch for it to carry back up towards 322 or 325 probably. And from there, we just got a chance to keep running. It's one of those stocks that gets beat up a lot, and then if it starts moving, it'll just move big. It's big volatility mover. A lot of short squeezes on it too. So I just popped an alert on for that. Home Depot. coming back up after earnings and dividends, has a small gap that it still has a little bit further to go. So I'm gonna be watching to play that. Also might just come and test the 200-day moving average, but it breaks above the high was 340.74. Yeah, I can get Home Depot over 341. Might just ride the calls out to 344. And this is how I usually set up my stuff. So I don't like to just sit and look at charts all day. Sometimes I do. But I just go in, set my alerts, and then if my phone goes off, I'll make a move. BlackBerry had a trend line resistance, right? How do we know that? Got our touches and we got our bounces down. All right, so you can go two ways with this. This could be a potential swing, a breakout above, and then a retest. So I'm not gonna set an alert for this one. Maybe probably set one for puts. So we get a breakout above, retest, then I'll watch for calls. However, if we don't, I'll probably just take puts and I can swing these back down. Let me see what move that'll be if we break below that low. So we could get, it's about a 14% move back down if it breaks this low of this candle. So that could be a potential swing play. This low was 679. So we go under 675. Probably get a 2-week expiration on that. Let me see the last move from right here. So when it was at this price before, it took it 2 weeks to make that move. So I'll get if I do swing it for some reason, I don't know if I plan on swinging something that long, but go with a 3-week expiration, capture a 14% move potentially on the way down. AT&T. Got it moving. It's kind of like a little channel, really. That's moving in. So probably not going to play it, but something you could watch. Just a potential move back down. We see we're not getting any real closes. All right, so we got the wicks coming down to touch 23, but we're not getting anything to close below 23. But if we did get a daily close below 23, then I think we could see it come back down and potentially retest this area of 2264. So just another thing, if you're trading a smaller account, obviously if you trade a smaller account, you can't be trading Amazon contracts, right? But stuff like this AT&T trade, things like this potential swing down for BlackBerry, that could be something you could look at. AMD, it's a huge triangle, but moral of the story with AMD, looking for a potential break above 116, right it to 118, and then we can maybe see how much higher we can go off that. But I'm probably just going to be day trading a lot this week still because we're moving off of a lot of news. So it's not really a good swing trading market in my opinion. Besides that, we do have a gap right here to the downside that can get filled on AMD. All right, and then of course, we see this clear level of support. Right, so we see our multiple support touches. All right, so if we do come down, close this gap, we could have a potential continuation all the way down back to the 100 level. Cool. Ford. I just got one more after Ford. The Ford has a gap above that has been holding since earnings. It's also have the support trend line, right? It did bounce off of it recently. So we see every time it touches this trend line, you know, it bounces back up to that $18 area. All right, so Ford breaks above $17, you could see it go back up to 18. The high, 1690. So I'm gonna just set an alert. $17. Boom. All right. And then one thing I saw with SPY is we testing that 200-day moving average, right? So, you know, 200-day moving average often can be, you know, support, resistance, which is a major level. So we just got to see what happens, right? We could gap up, we could gap down. But if we can actually go over this and hold, right? Next level I see is around 448, 450. You know, we can keep on riding up. Otherwise, we come back down and retest that 436. We could potentially start moving back down. We did make a new high right here, right? So we did break this original high, but I don't think we're really in the clear until we can get back above 460 to start seeing, you know, 470 and beyond. And that is it for me, speed round. Roblox look good too, Avery. I like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully JJ is all set. Maybe JJ can get on with her cell phone.
Did she just get off? I don't know where she went.
I might have muted her.
Nah, that's her screen.
Oh, this is her screen? Oh.
Yeah, she's muted.
Oh.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I was looking at for lows, which I entered Friday. Well, I was looking at the 10-minute chart. It was looking really bullish. Hold on. So you can see I entered lows kind of late. I think I sent out this alert like around on this candle, maybe during power hour. So you can see how bullish and how the uptrend is going. And decided to look at the daily chart to see if it would be a good swing for Monday. And as you can see right here, it's giving me an inverted head and shoulders. So you see the left shoulder, the head, right shoulder, and breaking out into another bullish trend. So as Avery and Jordan was saying, I think we'll probably stay a little green in the upcoming week. Like Avery said, probably for the month of April, I could see lows could keep going. So we might even swing this for the rest of the week and see how it goes. I'm usually day trading. It's been tough to swing in this market lately, but last week was a pretty good week for swing. So I'm gonna see how it goes. So I like how lows is going. It's riding my EMA green clouds. And as you can see, these this yellow cloud means it's going into a downtrend. So when these two clouds cross, it's gonna get really bullish. And so with these clouds crossing right here in the last 2-3 days, I see lows going, continuing this uptrend right here. As long as it stays within this trend line, we should see some good movement. As long as it doesn't break this trend line right here, it'll stay bullish. So that's what I've been looking at lows. Go back to the 10-minute. You see at the after hours on lows, it still a little bullish, still going in the uptrend. So we'll see what it does Monday. Riding my EMA clouds really nicely with a lot of room above it. So really bullish on this ticker. And I'm also liking the setup on PayPal for next week. This is the 10-minute mark. Let me go to the daily chart. And right here, you can see there's a gap to fill. Let me see. I forgot where the gap is. Anyways, there's a gap to fill right here. I forgot where the triangle goes. Whatever, can't find it. Anyways, I'm looking forward to fill this gap right here on the daily. So with these 3 green candles right here, 3 white soldier crows, 3 white soldiers, sorry, candles. PayPal is looking really bullish to me. So I'll keep this on watch all week on the daily. This will probably also be a nice swing for about a couple days until it fills the gap. If it does continue to go and fill this gap, it'll probably be good maybe for a week or 2 swing. So I'll keep this on watch for a long-term swing. And look at the contracts and give this a call out on Monday. But this is definitely on watch. Go to my 10-minute chart. Yeah. You can see the boost of volume that came in at the end of the day for PayPal and how it's riding the EMA clouds into the uptrend. So yeah.
Yeah, PayPal is really, really good.
Yeah. So those are the 2 main tickers I'll be on watch. I'm also looking at Bank of America too. Bank of America had a pretty good setup. Yeah, it looks a little choppy on the day chart, but on the daily, it doesn't look as good, but it's still, you could see the red cloud coming to an end. When it comes to an end, it'll turn green. Looks like a good little uptrend. But on the 10-minute, because I take day trade on the 10-minute chart, you can see the uptrend that it's going. As long as it rides this line, we'll be good for at least a little day trade Monday. So that'll be on watch Monday also. And in the after hours, it didn't do a lot of movement, but it stayed into the trend that it's going. So I think Monday will be good for that one. Let me look at the 4-hour, the hour and the 4-hour. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of gaps right there, but. So those are 3 tickers that I will be watching: Bank of America, PayPal, and Lowe's. I know Moody is watching HD, which probably follows Lowe's also. So those would be some good tickers to watch come into the coming week. So that's all I got for you. I know there's a lot of new people. Welcome to MSC. And we could go through chart requests now. Or if anybody else has any questions.
Yeah, somebody asked what your EMA settings were, JJ.
The green clouds on my EMA setting is, I'll put it in the chat. It's a lot.
I think somebody asked about your playlist too.
Sorry, you hear the cocoa melon in the back.
All right. So how y'all, man, I guess we gotta have a system for how we do chart requests. All right, I'll take 3. I'll take the first 3 and pass it off.
I take the second 3.
Yeah, we do a rotation. So we got Micron, Lucid, Draftkings. As far as Nike earnings, I think this thing is sharing my screen, sharing the wrong. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and rock out with Micron Technology, Lucid, and DraftKings.
Maybe I should have took the first three. I already got them charted. But you
Hey man, I mean you can still say what you see, bro.
Yeah, Lucy's on watch heavy. That actually looks really good. After the put, like Zay, we should have did straight calls on it because it was literally perfect.
Nah, I just was waiting for it to break out that downtrend. That's the only thing I was waiting for.
Yeah, right now it's just like it looks, yeah.
All right, Micron. The biggest thing that first stands out to me, with this 200-day moving average is it's treating it as support, right here, here, and then here it actually treated as resistance, and now we're sitting here again at it, with earnings coming up. It looks like earnings are maybe next Monday. So it's sitting right there. It is at a support area, so kind of got two ways to go about it. One, we see it had that push up. Oh, it had that move up and then came back down. So as far as if I were going to play it, I would look for it to either make a break above this high from Friday or to come down below this low, which was 76 on the 16th. And y'all, man, Zay, or Avery, when you go ahead and do y'all can pop back on and go through the same charts if y'all want. But that's the main thing that stands out to me. I always would come and throw on other stuff, so it's not really doing nothing with the Bollinger Band. I do use a 3 standard deviation for my Bollinger Bands a lot of times just to see when it's really extreme. If I pop on MACD, RSI, nothing's really shaking on that. As far as Lucid, got the MACD. I have different MACD settings too. A lot of my settings for indicators are never the normal settings. So Lucid is breaking over that 20-day moving average. You see has in the past went and hugged that same 200-day moving average, like I was talking about with Micron. So that's the top of the Bollinger Band, and that's the 200-day moving average. So that looks like that could be a good move back up. Same thing as before, just waiting for a break above the high. High was 26.15. So I'll go 26. We can go 26, 25. All right. Pop back on, check that out. And then DraftKings. You must have looked at my my recap. That's the only trade I lost with DraftKings. Yeah. DraftKings, we see a resistance above around 24, right? Reason you see that, we see the bounces here, see it again here, see it again here, see it again here, right? So if we do continue to hold above the 20-day moving average, then that's the next target on the swing to the upside. We'll be back to the 24 level. Doesn't look like there's been anything really stopping it from reaching that, even when it came down here, right? It came back up, and we see same sort of thing. This is a clear area of support. Tried to play puts on that and got burnt, but whatever. So that's a quick rundown from me on Lucid, DraftKings, Micron. Looking at it on a daily chart. As far as day trading it, and I just gotta see during the day what happens with it. And then I did have one more chart earlier I actually forgot about when I was running through mine, and that was Walgreens. So Walgreens, this is a 30-minute, but looking at it on the daily, see it had this big rejection of support, 20-day moving average, and then it has that kind of resistance area right here. We see all these wicks and candles right here, and once again, it's the 200-day moving average line that has been rejecting all these times. So looking for a potential swing, just riding it from about 47.50 back up to 48.35, which is where we see all these rejections. So that will be my take profit level. And that can make for a day trade or maybe an overnight swing. And that's all. For me. Bye. Zay, you muted, bro.
There you go. All right. So Lucid. All right, so Lucid closed at 25.66. If I was looking for a call, I will wait until it breaks 25.82, and it has to hold this level for at least 10 to 15 minutes for me on a close. This was last week. I can delete all this. And so I will basically wait until 25.90, and it has to hold above this level on a 5 to 10 minute candle to make sure before we get in it. If I was to look for puts, this is nothing but a 16-cent move, so I wouldn't get when it breaks this resistance. I will get it when it breaks this one at 25.19. But right now, Lucid is nothing but bull flagging right now, so I really do like Lucid because I think after 25.82, I probably haven't deleted all these, but I think after 25.82, I think it has to move until like $27. I think it was. What was the next one? Nike. So daily chart. So really, it hasn't been doing nothing but consolidating. Close that 145. Doesn't Nike have earnings this week?
Yeah, they got them tomorrow after hours, I think.
I think Nike. I wouldn't play.
I think Nike has earnings after hours Tuesday or before hours Tuesday.
Dang, I thought somebody
but I knew it was this week.
It's tomorrow after close.
And you got to think about it. I forgot that Nike took all their shoes out the mall. Like when I went to the mall today, there was no Nikes in Foot Locker. Like none whatsoever. This area right here. So if I was to get in Nike, I wouldn't touch Nike until probably like 133. The high of the day on Friday was 131. So really 131.50 if you're looking at calls. But you also have to come back and watch it during pre-market or a pre-market high. I think somebody said Starbucks. Starbucks closed here. Well, we already in the swing on Starbucks, actually. And if it was, so if Starbucks was to break over 90, then I would look back for, well, we already in calls, but if Starbucks was to break 90, I think you'd be good to go. And your next level would be until like 93. That's the only other level that I really see. And that's really about it for Starbucks. Starbucks literally gapped up to gap, but it's super bullish because they firing their CEO too as well. And yeah, had a huge bull run on Friday. I think did everything get volume like this at the end of the day on Friday?
Kind of
Yeah,
big.
a lot of ones I was looking at, it did.
Like this. That's what took them contracts up. I guess Avery. Oh, Avery on the phone. JJ, you can take the next three.
What am I taking?
Hold on, I can tell you.
Oh, LMT.
Yeah, somebody said LMT. Hold on. You got Target, LMT, CVS. Or if
Yes,
you want to go in order.
Let's look at Target. Ooh, Target did a nice little uptrend. Let's look at the daily. Nice green bullish candles on Target the last 2 days. So I expected uptrend to continue. Let's look at the 4 hour. Nice little uptrend. It's look pretty bullish to me. If you're looking at a day trade, I usually day trade on a chart on a 15-minute chart. So like I would put my resistance, my support, probably. Ooh. My resistance would probably be here. If you're day trading, you could also put a resistance line here. 229.07, 227.63. I could see support around 223.50. Sorry, my son. So yeah, I would these 4 yellow lines would be, these 2 top would be resistance. These 2 lines would be support. Target does look good to continue in the uptrend though. Looking real bullish. Look like a inverted head and shoulder pattern here with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, continuing the breakout. It's out of the inverted head and shoulder, but this is the 1 hour. So this might be good for a day trade or you could look at this as a double bottom also, breaking out a double bottom on the 4 hour. It's looking, I actually like Target. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. What's another ticker? Was that good enough?
Hold on. LMT. Hold on. Wait. Let me go in order. I'm trying to go back to the order.
Where we at?
Kroger and BlackRock. Or you can give BlackRock the isn't BlackRock a crypto stock?
I'll say that's crypto. I don't really do crypto.
Yeah, you can leave that one for Avery. So Kroger, and then Neo. You might say Neo on the put.
No, BlackRock shouldn't be a crypto stock. BlackRock, that's a financial company. It's a financial management company. But they might have something to do with crypto, but they're not like strictly crypto.
Okay, this is Neo right here on the daily. 3 good bullish candles. Breakout. Let's look at the 4-hour. As long as it doesn't break this this trend line, should be good. I'm thinking pretty bullish on this with my EMA clouds crossing. My green cloud going pretty bullish on this one. On the 1-hour, this could be a bull flag also, right here. I would wait on Neo until Monday to see how this breaks down and out. I am bullish on Neo. I think this is probably a bull flag that's forming.
And all Chinese stocks been on a run too.
Yeah. But I'm pretty bullish on this. I would sit my
Hey JJ, can you AMD?
yeah. My resistance at 21.25 and my support at 20.39. I would wait for confirmation, of course, above these levels or below support or above resistance before entering, but it does look pretty bullish. It's on the 15-minute. Yeah, this might be a bear flag, a bull flag that's forming on Neo. Definitely wait for confirmation on this, but it might be a bull flag right here. So AMD?
Yeah.
AMD, the daily chart is not telling me too much. Four-hour looks good. It's pretty bullish.
I like the weekly.
I'm sorry.
I like the weekly.
Okay. I usually don't go that far out because I'm a day trader.
Yeah.
The furthest I go out is daily, but I totally get, yeah, you always want to check all time frames. Just the way I trade, I just don't check the weekly. Are you looking to do a swing or?
That's exactly why. Yeah, I like it for a swing, but for just to see if we go too up on a weekly. But we could check.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just basically breaking like I would say 115.27.
I see that right here.
My favorite ones I like right now is going to be Apple, Home Depot, TTD, Twitter, NBA.
Somebody was at. Did y'all do LMT already?
No.
I'm not doing Moody's requests. LMT, this is the daily chart. I don't like the daily chart. It's consolidated the last 3 days. This is the 4 hour. 4 hour looks like it's consolidated also. The 1 hour is not telling me too much either. This could be a bull flag right here on the 1 hour. So this could be a bull flag on the 1 hour. After hours, it looked like it was on back on the, well, not even after hours, the end of the day, Friday was on an uptrend. I don't trust after hours movement. I always look at pre-market movements for me personally, but definitely chart your support and resistance. This is a previous line that I did for resistance, and it looks like it's still holding as a resistant point. So I will use these two targets. 429.42 is resistance, 421.89 is support. I would wait for a breakout of confirmation of resistance up here and support.
Hey JJ, check the 2 hour on LMT.
The 2 hour.
Yeah.
Never look at the 2 hour, but Moody has his own strategies.
I'm weird. Don't worry.
That's the 2 hour. I don't even know how to explain the 2 hour. Still in this bull flag though. This might be a bull flag. It's a gap up here, but that's a, never mind.
Huge gap.
MACD look like it want to cross into bullish territory, so might be a little bullish on LMT.
Only thing they need is some more news.
I like your 429.42 for an entry on a 2 hour to take it all the way to 433.
Yeah, I got another point at 433.20. That's my next target that I previously charted. So that's good. We're on the same page with that. Any other chart requests?
Kroger. And then the last thing, I guess, for
You know, more than 3. What was the last one?
Kroger.
I hate Kroger.
Hey, don't say that. That Kroger chat gonna get on.
I know. That's why I do not be in that Kroger chat.
Bro, it's just like when Kroger does move and it's actually moving, like you catch the momentum.
Yeah, you can make some good money off of Kroger if you know how to play it, but that stock is.
Bro, Zay, check out your Ford.
So Kroger is giving me consolidation on the daily. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour looks like it's consolidating also. It's not giving much movement from 54.33 to 56.
That's that 4 hour.
I just see a lot of consolidation for the last week. I mean, it had a big blue candle, 1 hour candle, but the whole market had this big candle in the last hour Friday.
Yeah. You can check the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, check the daily. The daily looks kind of bullish. Like it looks like it can break out.
It's the daily.
It could be flagging.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's a bull flag or
yeah,
bull pennant.
because if I was I wouldn't call it an inside day either, but
It's not an inside day.
that's what I'm saying. But it's
No, I'm all about my inside days.
But I would watch it.
yeah, I
think
would say yeah. I think it is bullish.
Yeah, it looks good on the 15 and on the 15 minute.
because that's kind of like what Target as well looks like. What is it? Walmart.
Then Walmart, yeah, Walmart looked like this last week on over Friday when I sent Saturday when I sent y'all the chart.
Yeah, and Walmart's still bull flagging as well too.
Yeah.
I would watch those for sure. I think they might move a little bit more again this week.
Yeah, this is Walmart. I like Walmart's daily chart for sure. Oh, no, this is the 15 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand the Walmart like daily is a lot more unbeatable than Kroger, but Kroger still looks like it looks like it's just delayed. I feel like it's just been consolidating, but it looks like it's still bull flagging.
Yeah, don't mind me with Kroger. I stay away from Kroger. I stay away from Kroger and AMC. I will not play those tickers.
AMC, no, you gotta play.
AMC, come on, you gotta
AMC.
not AMC.
But Square, I do like Square. Square is something else I was looking at. I think Jay, you said something about Square too. Also, did you go over Square?
No, I didn't, but I like Square for this week.
Yeah.
Only thing that I will watch for if the market does go to pool, this is super overbought. So if the market does go to pool, I will look at SQ because it's super overbought.
Yeah, I like Square on the daily. These big, strong, bullish candles is
That's crazy.
really looking good.
And this is why you buy dips on like really good stocks. The Square was literally like $70 like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. It
And-
was.
And
Now it's 140.
Look at this uptrend.
Looking sick. Long
Yeah, I
term actually came back this week though.
Heavily.
I'm
Heavily.
looking
like
good this week.
like it did its thing. Like, like
Yeah,
this
this
had a like, huge daily trend.
really, really good on Square.
Yeah. And you want to know why? Look at the weekly.
Y'all be on these. I'll be. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Moody be on the weekly.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because like those like weekly trends, like
Okay. I see why
That's
you
ex- what I'm looking at, bro. The weekly right now. But you taught me something so important, Zay. Those EMAs, bro. It's been even on this weekly, it's been trading under the 20-day EMA. So, I think it'll get to like 148, and then that's when like it's gonna hit his like resistance. Of course, I could go look at the chart, but I think 140.
But even if you look at it like on the weekly, I never really go this far, but like you can see it was in a falling wedge, consolidated. Now it's starting to finally break.
So the reason I go to the weekly a lot when the week is about to begin, right? Like say if I see if it's been bullish on the weekly and it's a 2-2 reversal, or say it's a 2-2 continuation, meaning that for everybody on the call, that's meaning that it broke the previous candle's high, right? So what I'll see is, okay, I think we're going to continue to be bullish and we're going to break some more resistance and hit some more targets. So I'll look at the weekly and be like, okay, I like this one, take it over to the daily and wait for my entry. If I'm going to swing on a daily or 4-hour, like to go ahead and start swinging on Monday or Tuesday, right? Because if you look at a stock generally, when it picks its direction for the week, it normally tends to continue to go bullish or bearish. But that's just like what I've seen.
So here's charge point. Daily looks really good. You could see this is kind of like a double bottom here that's breaking out to the upside. I like it. Strong bullish candles right here on the uptrend. 4 hour looks good. Got some good volume coming in.
Wow, ChargePoint has been looking good for a while now. How did I not notice this?
Remember we played it what a week ago, 2 weeks.
No, I don't remember this. Like,
I remember us playing. Yeah, it's been looking good.
for
Yeah.
a while now, like since January.
Yeah.
It really caught my eye last week. The week before that. When it broke and it turned the daily. All the daily candles had 2 green daily candles in a row, and they were like big candles, 89-cent moves, even when the market was pulling.
Yeah. Wow. It hasn't even touched like it might go to 20 soon. I think it just needs to break above, like right above here at like $19, but it could go to like above like $22 is like a huge breakout.
Yeah, that's why I really could see it.
Talking about
And considering like small caps are running it right now too, like it looks like, from what I understand, it looks like it's just been running with like the rest of like oil stocks as well too. I don't know why, but
Because of the news, it's a charging station. So anytime gas goes up, charging stations make more money.
okay.
check
So-
out when y'all get a chance. It's just like charge point.
Check
So
out
what's-
what?
That who?
Blink. B.
You breaking up, so it was like you went out.
Oh my bad.
Oh, so Plug has been looking like that too.
Plug is on my list also for tomorrow. I just put it on my list. Here goes the
Yeah.
week for you swingers. Nice weekly candle right here.
Check out the daily. It's about to break resistance.
Oh.
It wants to.
Daily looks nice.
The 4 hour
Wow.
hammer.
Who said to look at ChargePoint? Shout out to them.
Big facts.
This probably
That's
can't go.
4 hour. Mhm. Yeah, it looks like it was bull flagging right here. I like charge point on the 4 hour and on the daily.
Yeah, no, it looks good on every time frame. That's why I think it's a really good swing. And
Yeah.
like that, as well as like Plug as well too. It looks like something big is gonna happen soon. I don't know if there's any type of bills coming out saying,
Well,
Yeah.
Biden's new plan thing, he's trying to get it for all charge stations, airports, all
there we go. Some type of infrastructure deal.
yeah.
It's the infrastructure bill, and he's big on clean energy. I think I forgot the year, but I think it's like 2030 that he plans that he wants all vehicles on American soil to be EV. I think is the percentage that he put out was like 60 to 70%.
Well, they say in the next, what's this year, 2022, the next 5 years. So by 2026, 2027, 70% of the cars are supposed to be EV.
And I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Like I just be trying to go deep. I'm like thinking about the war. What's the bigger play in this? What's the bigger picture? You know what I'm saying? Like America has a bigger plan to this as well. They're pushing gas up, right? Because of the war, oil, gas, gold is going to go up. So they want EV cars, right? That they want everybody to be driving EV cars. And how are they going to make that happen? With inflation, with gas prices going out the roof, EV cars being cheaper. You're going to run to that eventually.
Nah, not me.
Yeah, me neither. I don't want one, but I feel you.
Nah, if gas keep going up, I ain't gonna lie, I'm definitely gonna get one. Bro, I just literally, it took me $133 to fill up a Camaro.
Cost you what?
$133 to fill up a Camaro.
That's insane.
You
Yeah.
said what?
That's what?
$133 to fill up a Camaro.
Is that premium gas?
Premium.
That's
That's all I can put it in
insane.
my car.
You said $30.
Yes.
$133.
But like honestly, that's about right. That's about right. Like
I'm gonna tell you guys should look at Baba and Didi. Baba on the daily, I don't know. It looked like it could be a double top, maybe.
We did a CVS. CVS, I called out Thursday. I was going to continue that, keep that on the watch list for the rest of the week. It's supposed to be an inside day here on CVS. It's an inside day. So I don't know why my inside day indicator isn't on. But I do like CVS. For a day trade, not sure for a swing. I'd have to see how it plays out Monday. But I do like CVS.
You got Bank of America in the inside day right now with a hammer.
No, I like Baba because I killed that Friday. I don't know who stayed in that trade. I think it ran to like 250%. Yes, Baba. There's a gap to fill right here.
What did Gino say? He said it's a double top.
You see those 2 wicks right there around like 111?
Uh-huh.
I'm saying it's probably like a strong resistance right there.
Yeah. I mean, but I think with Chinese stocks getting that little extra push that I think he's gonna break.
what's the time frame for the double top on Baba?
Right there,
Daily.
Daily.
Oh, I can see it on the hourly. Okay. Yeah, it's possible because it still looks like it's like a little bit like it's overbought now. So like, yeah, no, I can see it. I can see like a short-term relief, but I don't know because Chinese stocks have been really brutally beaten down for a little bit now too. Like now they're all just kind of like skyrocketing. I don't know. I feel like with the hourly time frame, I wouldn't really pay too much attention to it. Just because like I feel like there's still like a larger picture with a lot of those like stocks. Same thing with DD as well too.
That on the daily, that candle from Friday is crazy.
Yeah. So I would
They
I wouldn't pay too much attention to like the shorter term time frame on it, just because it could be like for all you know, it could end up like just consolidating for like a little bit.
Beauty though, man. I don't, they were supposed to get delisted by now.
Yeah, they are. Like,
Zay, the stock itself moved 60% Friday.
I know. Remember that was the move that we was waiting for the dump.
Yeah.
I mean, we still made money on it, but I should have caught the pump too as well. Because that would have, I think some of the contracts I looked at, they moved like 6,000%.
They had, I mean, the stock itself moved 60%. You had to get like 6,000% calls or something.
That would be crazy. Wake up the next morning and see 6,000%.
JJ, can I share my screen?
Yes, you can. No
That was
problem.
quick.
You didn't have to finish.
She didn't take no time.
No problem. I said I was gonna do 3. Y'all had me do like 72. I'm
He's like,
done.
say less.
Thank you, Alex. I don't know if you're still on. Have a good night. I think if you're about to get off.
JD too. That was another one.
Okay,
But,
just
you know,
did you guys do the other one? I think it was like CLF,
Oh,
Oxy.
yeah, Oxy, all that, and BlackRock, I think it was. We was gonna leave that one
So
for you.
you guys didn't do that yet?
I
No.
did CVS. I didn't do CFL. CLF. CLF has an inside day. That's definitely on watch tomorrow too, but I didn't do the chart.
Jesus Christ.
CLF, Oxy,
I know it's both lagging heavy. What is this? What does this do?
So it's like infrastructure too as well. It's
Yeah, I
like
know.
it's just like X. You know.
Yeah, no, daily is very much both lagging. I saw that even with let me see what it looks like on the lower time frame. Let me see what it hourly looks like. Yeah, like it's definitely both lagging. This could probably jump up in the morning. But like if it doesn't, like I think above here, like above like wherever it stopped at, like 27, you can definitely see a push. If it goes below 26, it could continue to kind of consolidate over there. I would just like be a little bit more mindful. If it's going to be like a longer term trade, then just below 24, I would probably get out. But like for right now, like as a daily, like it'd be really good to do like maybe like a few, like a couple weeks out, like maybe 2 weeks out. Like sorry, maybe like a month out contract would be really good for it, just to kind of give it time to like see if it can kind of like break above. What was the other one? Oxy I was looking at too. That was actually something I was thinking about getting, but I didn't like the way it closed. It was like it has like a really good daily chart, but I really didn't like the way it closed. It just kind of like dumped a little bit. So I was like, okay, let me just like watch it. Cause I just didn't like the way it closed. I would have wanted it to kind of like stay above here at that like $57, and then it just kind of like dumped a little bit. It didn't break anything below heavily, but I just didn't like the way it closed. So I was just kind of like staying out of it, because as you can see now, instead of it like kind of continuing that like that uptrend, for all you know, it can kind of like go right back down to like 54, 52, right? But below 52, I'd be a little bit more cautious of it, but I would like it to just kind of